welcome to another edition of GNY Sports, a side quest of our comedy news and current events podcast, Good News York, which airs Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern, at Good News York on all socials and goodnewsyork.com. And GNY Sports airs once a week in the same spot. I am your host, Mike Brindisi. You can follow me on all socials at MikeBTV if you dare. I am so excited to get right into it. Obviously, it is the thick of the NFL season. Wild Card weekend just happened, and it did not disappoint. Now, I start every show with my rant or rave about the Bills, and somehow, by the grace of God, the Bills are still in it. So I'm going to start at the top of the show and Wild Card weekend talk with the Bills. Now, listen, going into this game, it was pretty clear that on paper, the Jacksonville Jaguars were the more complete team, injury-wise and just overall. The Bills have been hobbling into the playoffs, partially because of injuries and partially because Brandon Beane, their GM, didn't quite surround them with a lot of talent in the realm of pass catchers or wide receivers. It's been a mix and a match. With that being said, I did have this thought this past weekend. I've been giving Brandon Beane a lot of shit, which I never thought I'd do, because when he came along, it was like Prince Charming. You got to remember the dark winter that the Bills went through for 17 seasons, and I lived through all of it. And let me tell you something. When Brandon Beane and McDermott and Allen came along, it was like a fairy tale. So it's very hard for me to be critical, but at this point, 8 years into this project, I think it's warranted, and I've been doing it for the last couple weeks, and so have a lot of people. I'm not saying I want Brandon Beane fired by any means, but it is clear that he has made a lot of mistakes that he's been able to cover up, because we can all go back to, I drafted Josh Allen, and I fall for it. It works. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I forgive you. But what I want to get into is that I've been very critical of the lack of pass catchers that he provided, or the ones that he did. Keon Coleman, I don't want to say that he's a bust, but healthy scratch after missing meetings and being just immature on and off the field, and now he has to play due to necessity. Josh Palmer is out. Gabe Davis, torn ACL, as well as Tyrell Shavers, torn ACL. And with that being said, I think I need to praise Beane too. I don't think we're thinking about the other side of that, which is not only did he not provide enough talent around Allen, but now he's called in all these guys, Gabe Davis, Shaq Thompson, who's a 10-year vet. Jordan Poyer came back. We're like, what the hell? Brandon Phillips, because Ed Oliver went out. And you know what? All of those guys, for the most part, have contributed and made a difference. Mecole Hardman. And you're seeing it now. This week, we're going into the playoffs. Second week of the playoffs, Brandon Cooks and Keon Coleman are going to start. Shaq Thompson has been an incredible difference maker on the defense. Statistically, when he is on the field compared to when he's not, it's night and day, especially with the run defense. I feel like we give Beane a lot of shit for what he hasn't done. Now, whether it's after the fact and he's just trying to put out the fire he started himself, he has done a good job of bringing guys back and signing other guys and moving other guys from the practice squad to cover it. So I feel like if we're going to criticize him, let's also praise him when it's due. Now, as far as the injuries go, Josh Palmer has barely been on the field all season anyway, so that's a disappointment. But now the Bills lose Tyrell Shavers and Gabe Davis to a torn ACL, like I said, in the same game. Tyrell Shavers played the entire second half with a torn ACL, and I don't mean he's just running along. This is a guy that is a very integral part of the run game and blocking. He is a phenomenal piece when it comes to that. He was just trucking dudes with a torn ACL, which I guess, in the medical world, I think a lateral movement is what's hard, but it doesn't matter. That's the pedigree of player that he is. And so, yes, it sucks that Gabe Davis and, of course, Tyrell Shavers are out, but they didn't get a ton of target share anyway. They were more effective in the run game than they were the passing game. And that's a problem. That's what I'm more worried about, because we've seen if the Bills don't have a run game, they don't exactly have an answer for the passing game. If the running game is not working out. That was until they played Jacksonville. And so I'll get into that in a second. But what I'm getting at is while those receivers being out definitely hurts the passing game overall, it's not the end of the world. And I had a friend of mine, Brian Parks, who we wrote a Bills song together. Check it out. Where Else? Marv's Anthem by the K-Gun. Anywhere you can find music. Shameless plug. He said to me something, I might as well, if I'm going to do it, I might as well quote him, and it really made me think. I don't know if this is going to work, but here I am thinking, now we're down 2 more pass catchers. More importantly, we have 2 guys that are so huge for the run game. What are we going to do? How do we make up for that? Especially when you're going against a Broncos team who's had like 3 weeks off for a bye week. Their injury report lists 4 guys. I think 3 out of the 4 are limited. Nobody's going to be out. We're going to Denver, and we're limping in. Allen essentially donated his body to science last game, so that's going against us already. Now you throw these injuries in that may affect the run game, and it makes me worry. But this is what he said. Brian Parks, I'm quoting you, my buddy. They were talking about some ridiculous ways to address the receiver issue, like giving Amari Cooper a call back or Odell Beckham. That is ridiculous. He said, we all know Kincaid is really just a huge wide receiver anyway, right? And he has actually turned into quite a bit better of a blocker than he gets credit for, which is what they love about Gabe and Shavers. So let's slide him into the big physical wide receiver position as an instant upgrade there. Dawson Knox, who has had an eye-popping renaissance as a pass catcher this season, slides into the Kincaid role at tight end. And Jackson Haws, their 3rd tight end, who I think has surprised everybody with his ability to catch the ball, moves into Knox's old role. He's right. He's right. So well done, Brian Parks. I agree with that. I mean, I think it can work. People ask me, I was on a podcast last week, the Couch GMs podcast. I got invited on, and we went through all the playoff teams, and they asked me, what's one thing that each team has to do if they want to win this week or win the Super Bowl? And when it got to the Bills, I said the X factor for me, well, the X factor would have been Kincaid, and I was right. But I said that if they cannot get their run game going, because we know the Jags' run defense was stout, and they were, can Joe Brady have an answer in the passing game? And he did. And Allen was Superman again, and they pulled it off. The Jags D, I don't want to say they were dirty, but man, they were violent. They were playing to hurt players. And somehow, some way, the Bills' offense rose above it. When Allen got his knee twisted, I thought it was done. And that dude, they always say, the best ability is availability, and that's exactly what Josh Allen gives you. He has been unbelievable. And, someone asked me this past weekend, do you have confidence that the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl? And I said, it's kind of a 2-part question. I said, my head has been telling me absolutely not. This is actually one of the worst Bills teams they've had with Allen. But the resilience has been insane. Going into the Jags game, I thought, Jags are a way better team. But, when you have Allen, you have McDermott, I think you can win any game. And I just had this feeling. And now going into the Broncos game, I feel even worse. I'm not afraid of Bo Nix. I'm kind of afraid of Sean Payton. I'm afraid of the thin air in Denver, although it makes me think that Allen might be able to throw the ball like a Nerf football from the 90s and chuck it out of the stadium. And I'm nervous about being on the road. I'm nervous about their defense. But here's the thing. There's something that the Bills have that can't be bought, can't be really challenged. That's destiny, and it sounds so cheesy. But what I'm saying is, going into this game on paper, yeah, again, everything I just listed, plus the Bills are banged up. They're coming off a short week while Denver's had like 2-3 weeks off. So the odds are against them. But here's the difference. This destiny thing. It's this, I have this feeling about the Bills the same way I felt about the 04 Red Sox and about I don't remember what year it was when the Cubs finally won. And it was just throughout the season, it just felt like anytime they were about to slide or lose, this destiny just kind of took over, like Angels in the Outfield. Remember that movie? And they win, and they would win and win. And you just, in the back of my mind, I know, I'm like, this is their year. This is the year they do it. It just feels that way for me with the Bills. I don't think they're the best team overall in the playoffs, but I think they have Josh Allen and they have destiny on their side. I really do. So every time we go into a game, and if they win this week and go into the next game, I'll have the same feeling where on paper I don't like it, but in here I just feel like it's written. So we'll see. I mean, Josh Allen is literally donating his body. I mean, that poor son of a bitch is so banged up. He's hobbling, he's limping, he's going into tents, he's coming out of tents, he's walking with his shoe off to the locker room. He never misses a game. He's gone on record saying his biggest fear when he was playing as a younger athlete was missing a game. You can see why it's very important to him to be available. In today's NFL, it's a miracle that he's able to stay in games. But you could just see it, man. He is it with every run, with every pass, with every scramble. Like, he is on a mission. He knows what it means to the city of Buffalo, to the fans, to the franchise, to just win one and get that monkey off his back and off all of our backs. And I think we're going to look back because you know, Allen's about to be 30. You know, when you see a running back or a quarterback kind of start to slide a little bit, right? And they're like, oh, they're starting to lose a little bit of edge. You know, Father Time is creeping up. And you say, well, yeah, it's because over the years he took this many hits and this. This is the season I'm going to look back to and go, yeah, this was the season that took like 7 years off his life. That's how I feel. I went to my buddy Johnny's bachelor party in Atlantic City like 6-7 years ago. 6-7. And I remember leaving there going, when I die, I know I'm going to be dying 7 years earlier than I would have if I had not gone to this bachelor party. And that's how I feel about Allen. This season has taken some football years off his life for sure. But they head into Denver limping, banged up. But here's the thing. Bo Nix does not scare me. They handled him pretty well last year. This defense, is ragtag as it is and as banged up as it is, has been playing out of their minds. And that is because Sean McDermott, whether you like him or hate him, he is a defensive genius. They've been, and the national media has been showing their disguises and the way they play and the physicality and knowing what lanes to be in and where to be. It's just they're playing way above the talent that they have, and that is all due to coaching. So believe it or not, I actually have a lot of faith in the defense, especially if Ed Oliver comes back. They've been able to make it work, missing a ton of pieces. And again, tip of the cap to Sean McDermott on that. As far as the offense goes, even down 2 more receivers, I just feel like the Denver Broncos, while they do have a great defense, they don't have the offense that can put up a ton of numbers. And I think you can win this game in 17 points against the Broncos. I can't say that about a lot of other teams, especially these playoff teams. But I think if you can score at least 17 on Denver, I think you can win the game. And that should not be a problem for Allen and the offense. But I will tell you this, as far as the defense goes, shout out to the secondary. Trey White, who, by the way, apparently, if you watched Hard Knocks, running through Buffalo in the woods, trying to rehab his knee or whatever it was, like a maniac, is paid off. He looks like 2019 Trey White. He was the factor on the defense last game. And by the way, Cole Bishop, who started his second year in the NFL at safety, beginning of this season, we all said, oh man, I don't know if he's going to cut it. He doesn't look like he's ready. Well, goddamn, were we wrong. He is slowly becoming one of the best safeties in all of football. His athletic score was off the charts at the combine. It's something I just learned about. where you can have an overall athletic score, and some of the best players in the league have an overall athletic score in the 7s or in the 6s, and they're still phenomenal. This guy scored in the 9s, and it's starting to show. And it started to show when Poyer came along. And I don't know what Poyer has taught him or said to him, but goddamn, it has worked. With that being said, moving on, I don't think I can handle a Bills-Pats AFC Championship. I nearly lost my mind emotionally the last time they played, the second game of the season where the Bills came back. It was incredible. I hate that team so much, and they have been the Bills' bully for so long that emotionally I cannot handle, as much as I would love to see that, especially if we're on the good side, where the Bills win to go to the Super Bowl and they beat their arch rival Patriots, but I just can't go through it. It's insane. When I watch football, especially when I play the Patriots, I get crazy. If something bad happens, I'm like, I hope they get diarrhea in traffic. I hope they sit on a hot curling iron. I hope they throw up for the rest of their lives. I get so angry, irrationally. But there's a good chance that could happen. I'm ridiculous. Moving along, I am so excited. I want to say one thing real quick. I have a new segment coming up. But I want to say, I was thinking as I was watching the playoffs this past week, I'm like, what a crazy year it's been for the Bills. And then I went, what a crazy year it's been in the NFL. Not just the fact that there was so much parity and there wasn't really any clear-cut top teams, maybe a handful at best. Anybody could have won any week. You didn't know how that was going to unfold. But there was some crazy shit that happened. The Micah Parsons trade. The Chiefs dynasty pausing or hopefully ending. The Ravens collapse. The Bengals never even really starting. Phillip Rivers coming back from the dead. The surprising head coach successes. Liam Cohen all of a sudden turning Trevor Lawrence into the prospect he was supposed to be all along. Duval. Ben Johnson, hello, good, better, best, good, better, best. If you're good, get better, and you better get best. And he's shirtless, and F the Green Bay Packers. And then Mike Vrabel coming along in his first year, Drake May's second year, and they're one game away from the AFC Championship. Brian Dable getting fired mid-season. Mike Tomlin stepping down. Caleb Williams, just like Liam Cohen did for Trevor Lawrence. Ben Johnson's doing for Caleb Williams. And that's just part of it. I mean, I could go on all day. It was just a very weird... DK Metcalf getting into it with the fan. And I know weird shit happens every year, but this year was just like... That's why I think the Bills might win it all. It's like when hell freezes over or when pigs fly, whatever they say. Like, things are so weird. Of course, this would be the year the Bills possibly win the Super Bowl. But moving along, it is time for a new segment. I don't even know if it's not going to be a recurring segment, probably. It's just something I wanted to do with all of the head coaching vacancies opening up and a lot of the head coaches who have been fired. By the way, breaking news as of this morning, John Harbaugh joining the Giants. I thought that was an absolutely brilliant move for both parties. I wish I had recorded this earlier so I don't sound like I'm hopping on the bandwagon. I thought that was the spot where both parties would flourish. I thought the Giants need a coach, a seasoned vet. And they got one. And they got a real good one. And in the same breath, John Harbaugh needed to go to he didn't need to go to a Raiders or a Cardinals where he's starting over. He needed to go somewhere with another ownership group or owners like the Ravens ownership group who are not knee-jerk. They take their time. They don't make quick decisions and fire people. They have some really good pieces in place, including the franchise quarterback who's young. I think this is a match made in heaven. I don't think the Ravens were wrong for firing Harbaugh, and I don't think Harbaugh should be wrong if he's pissed that they fired him. I think they, just like Tomlin in Pittsburgh, I just think it was time for a fresh start for everybody involved. So I think this is a huge move for the Giants, and for Harbaugh. With that being said, it made me think, if you're a head coach looking for a team to go to, right? You've got Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Las Vegas, Arizona, Atlanta, and Miami, and Cleveland, all open for a new head coach. And I thought, listen, you got to be choosy. Even though there's only 32 jobs in the NFL, you got to know what you're getting yourself into. It's like dating. So this is my comparison. This is the I Can Fix Her head coach edition. I am going to compare each franchise to the type of woman you might find yourself dating. Let's start with the Tennessee Titans. If you're a head coach looking to go to Tennessee, just know Tennessee is that young, shy Southern girl until she has some Southern comfort. She's dated a ton, but she's not a slut, all right? She self-sabotages relationships because of her own insecurities, i.e. Vrabel. Pittsburgh Steelers. This bitch is divorced. She's got 3 kids, a huge career, and her own home. All right, she's not looking for a one-nighter. All right, she wants long-term, and she's not going to settle. All right, on the first date, she's going to tell her boundaries, which includes a lot of alone time, and you're not allowed to check her phone. Now, in Baltimore, if you were to go to Baltimore, beware. You cheat on her, and she'll cut you. All right? She has a son who's very well liked in the community, but is a bit of a slacker. Lamar. And it's important that you have a relationship with him, or it's not going to work. All right? Her father, the shoddy, is someone you're going to have to deal with a lot. They have a very strong relationship. He does always seem drunk, but it turns out he's just weird. Now, Las Vegas, this chick's a mess. All right? She's moved from L.A. to Oakland, back to L.A. to Oakland. Now she's in Vegas. She can't keep a job or a man. She loves to date other people's ex-boyfriends and husbands, i.e. former coaches. And she's going to drop you in a heartbeat without warning. Pete Carroll. And she has really bad haircuts. Moving on, Arizona. Very quiet, shy, timid, stays off the radar from everyone. No one ever really thinks about her unless they need to hang out with her to feel better about themselves. And she'll cling to you quickly, but really, unfortunately, just has no goals or direction. Now, if you want to go to Atlanta, she's got so much to offer. But she just can't put it together. You know, she's got a fantastic relationship with her dad, Arthur Smith. Or who's the owner of the Falcons? Arthur. Surrounded by great family. A lot of good pieces on the team. She let her boyfriend walk away to another man years ago. He ended up being amazing, Brett Favre. Another previous boyfriend just married back into the family, Matt Ryan. Decent career, but she's also really well known for absolutely blowing a lead that she had. Miami. Whew, this girl. She lives in a beautiful place with a ton of distractions, which is why she and her boyfriends are constantly losing at life. She loves to brag about shit that she did in the 70s while barely accomplishing anything in the last 3 decades. Her friends will also act like she's something special, too. Then there's Cleveland. Boy, what a disaster. You know those women who drunkenly drop their cigarette in their own puddle of piss on the sidewalk outside the bar because they're wearing a skirt with no underwear, so they just kind of like squat down and go while talking to their Uber driver on the phone at the same time, and then they pick it back up and continue smoking it? That's Cleveland. She also smokes indoors. Think Tara Reid. So there it is. The I Can Fix Her head coaching edition. Before we go on this edition of GNY Sports, I'm going to put up a trivia question on our social media at Good News York, and I'm also going to put up a poll. Here's the trivia question. I love this, I love this, I love this. Don't Google it. Just really try to use your brain on this one. Here's this week's GNY Sports trivia question. There are two Heisman-winning quarterbacks on the same roster. What team and who are they? Also, head to our social media for my latest poll. And that is, who's a bigger asshole? Nick Sirianni, Ben Johnson, or Sean Payton? And for that, it is another great episode. I use great loosely. Another great episode of GNY Sports. Airs once a week. You can find it where you can also find our comedy current events news show, Good News York, on all of our socials at Good News York, goodnewsyork.com. As I said, head there at Good News York. You've got a trivia question and a poll, and you can follow me on all socials at Mike B TV. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Go Bills, and I'll see you next week. Oh, wait.